Hi everyone, welcome back to Levando's Homestead. Today is all about garden planning and basically how to start your garden or even where to start. It can be very overwhelming, and if you really wanted to start a garden this year, this is the video for you. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go into Google and we're going to get started. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we are going to go into Google and we are going to type in Farmer's Almanac Garden Planting Calendar 2024. I know what you're thinking. Why wouldn't you just go to the Farmer's Almanac website and try to find this? But for some reason, it's very difficult to find it on their website. So I have way better luck if I just Google it here. So we're going to search. We're going to scroll down and it should be, that's actually their actual calendar. We want the planting calendar by zip code. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And this is the screen it will take us to. So I'm going to type in zip code and then you can type in your zip code, hit search. And basically what this does is it is going to tell you when your first and last frost dates are for the year. And by this, it will tell you when to start your seeds, when to put them in the ground, when it's too late. And this is like the most helpful thing you can do if you want to start a garden. So let's scroll down. This kind of just explaining the fall planting, spring planting, and different things like that. So this is the spring planting for 2024. And as you can see here, it says your last frost occurs on May 4th. So that means after that, it can be safe to plant your tomatoes or different varieties like that, depending on the table. So even though it says May 4th, if you know, hey, last year it changed, we actually got frost on May 28th, so I know, hey, you know what, I'm going to wait until June. So each year you got to play it by ear and really watch the weather during the month of May to make sure you don't ruin your plants, because if you put them out early, you have the potential of killing all your plants that you worked really hard on growing from seed. So first, let's go and start at the table. So these are all the crop names. This is starting seeds indoors, which months to start. This is when you have to transplant them outside. This is to start seeds outdoors because not everything transplants great. Kind of like carrots, horrible transplant. Onions do okay. I know lettuce doesn't do that good for me, but everyone's different. And then this is the last date to plant for the year. So first you got oregano. So first you got some basil. Hey, it says start your seeds in between March and April, which is nice because they give you a nice gap. So it's not like it has to be done on one day. So this makes it easier. And then it's telling you need to transplant them outside in between May and June, and then you're good to go for the rest of the season. So let's scroll down here. What I typically do is I will color code these, all the colors for March, February, and then I'll print it out and put them in alphabetical order of the different months. And then that helps me really be prepared for the next year. So, like peppers, you have to start it at the end of February, and that's probably when I'll start them, or I might start them a little earlier because peppers take a while to get started and they can be very frustrating. So, I like to start mine at least 2 weeks early. So, I'll be starting mine in January, which is this month. Let's scroll down here. So you can see broccoli, you can actually start that in March and have it planted in April because that is a cold weather crop and it does good in the cold weathers. As soon as it starts to get hot, your broccoli is probably going to bolt and then it's pretty much not good, or it's going to have a bitter taste to it. And you see carrots right here, it has NA for these columns. Carrots do best when you plant them right in the garden in April, and then usually harvest around August, depending how fast your carrots grow, or if you thin them or not. So let's keep scrolling. So a lot of these are in February and March. That's the bulk of them. Typically, the plants I started in April are pumpkin, zucchini, squash, cucumber, watermelon. They don't need as much time to get established as a seedling before you transplant them because they love hot weather and they thrive in the summertime. And then tomatoes, that's in March, and then you get them transplanted in May. Let me see. And then, so this is all for summer gardening. So we can scroll down. Oh, actually, last date. Yeah, okay. So another thing I wanted to say was, okay, so we know starting them indoors, transplanting them, and then starting the seeds outdoors. So this column is the last chance you get for the year. If you're like, oh crap, I forgot to plant lettuce or I forgot to plant peppers earlier in the spring, you can be like, okay, well, it's July 10th. I'm good. I can start some more pepper seedlings and get them in the ground. And that can be good before the last frost. So you could have two crops of the same type of veggie, basically. So let's scroll down to the fall planting. It's basically the same thing. You can't plant as much in the fall because it's such a short window, but you can do a lot of lettuce, carrots, cabbage, different, oh, garlic, obviously, yeah, because that's when you harvest your garlic. You can do green beans. I always do a fall planting of green beans. They do really well with crop rotation. So basically, if I am just picking my carrots like I did last year, I threw green beans in that bed, and then I got green beans for fall, and I was harvesting them almost every day and canning them up. So green beans is a great, efficient plant to have in your garden, and you really get your money worth on green beans. And then we got pretty much, yeah, like I said, the lettuce, spinach, stuff like that. So when I started gardening, I thought this was super helpful. It really made everything a lot more sense because when you go to garden, you're like, oh yeah, just start the seeds, put them in dirt, it'll be fine. But this really shows you how detailed it can be. Okay, so like I said before, this is my Excel file I made, and I color coded it so it will make it a little bit easier. So when I'm starting seeds, so the purple right here is everything I need to start in February, and then transplant dates, pretty much all May. And then orange is all my March seedlings I need to start, like my lettuces, herbs, different things like that. Obviously, most important, tomatoes. And then April, like I said, all these other ones that also need to be planted directly in the garden, like carrots, radishes, potatoes, spinach, onions. I'm going to do onions from seed this year. I am not buying the onion bulbs because I feel like you get a good onion out of it, but I really want to challenge myself and start it from seed, and I just want to see how it goes. I needed another challenge. So this is some more in April that need to be started as seedlings and not in the garden. So we got our watermelon, zucchini, stuff like that, like I said before. And then this is May, where we want to direct plant our corn, green beans, and potatoes again for a second round. And then I basically just do the same thing over here for my fall planting. I make it very limited because I try to get the bulk of it done in the spring, and then maybe at the end I'll have some squash left over, I'll have some green beans left over. But most of the time I'm getting a large range of vegetables throughout the whole summer. It's not like my tomatoes produce for 1 week and then they like stall out. No, I have them going all the way until November typically. They really just keep producing. I've never had an issue where they just stop after a couple weeks. So um, yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about gardening, when to start your seedlings, I'm going to do another video on my garden planning, and I'll be posting that, and I'll be posting one me doing my onion seeds, and we'll see how it goes. See y'all.